black. You're black. You're just black.
400K, I'm in if Kai does it. I said if Kai does 400, I got 400. I promise. Locked.
Cenat is one of the biggest names online right now. No question. His energy, his jokes, his whole vibe built him a massive streaming empire. But even with all that success, Kai's had plenty of moments that put him under a harsh spotlight. From wild stunts blowing up in his face to public backlash and even situations involving police, he's had to deal with a lot of noise coming his way. This video dives into the biggest moments that made people start turning on Kai, and the most recent one had social media arguing non-stop. It all kicked off when Mr. Beast and Mark Robber launched a huge project called Team Water, a $40 million fundraiser built to help bring clean, sustainable water to communities that desperately need it. The plan was simple but powerful. Use their massive online reach to push awareness and pull in donations that could actually change lives. To spread the word, they brought a bunch of creators into one big group call. One of them was streamer Aiden Ross, and that's where everything flipped. Right there on the call, Aiden told Mr. Beast he would donate $400,000 if Kai matched it, basically putting Kai on the spot in front of thousands of people watching live. It instantly felt like one of those moments where someone throws your name into something you didn't sign up for, especially on a public stage where every reaction gets judged. As soon as Aiden said it, the internet jumped on Kai fast. People started pushing the idea that because he's clearly successful and making major money, there was no excuse for him not to match the donation for a cause this serious. The pressure was loud, the expectations were wild, and the whole thing turned into a debate that had timelines on fire. Now, nobody even knows if Kai ended up donating that money, but one thing is crystal clear. He never said he was going to in the first place. It was Aiden speaking on his behalf, putting his name in a promise he didn't make. And that's exactly where everything got messy. For real, forcing somebody into a public donation is wild behavior, no matter how rich they are. If a person earned their money, they get to choose how they spend it, plain and simple. And to keep it real, Kai has put his money toward positive things before, and he's done it without trying to broadcast himself as some kind of hero. Back in March 2024, Kai touched down in Nigeria for the very first time, one of the most powerful, culture-filled countries in Africa, with over 200 million people. He documented the whole trip on YouTube, showing love to the community and soaking in the energy of Lagos, the country's biggest city. While he was there, he pulled up to the Makoko Children Development Foundation School and Orphanage, a place that gives free schooling and care to kids who really need it. And instead of just visiting, taking pics, and bouncing, Kai announced he was actually going to help fund a brand new school for the community. That alone had people shocked in a good way. To make it happen, he said he'd donate 20% of everything he made from a special month-long Twitch stream. He streamed every single day for 30 days straight, letting viewers subscribe or donate during the grind. And he committed a chunk of all that money to the kids in Makoko. In his exact words, he told fans, "I visited Nigeria not too long ago, and I absolutely loved it. I say that to say this. For the next 30 days, while I'm streaming, 20% of all revenue will be going straight to the school that I'm still currently building for the kids of Makoko." That move showed he wasn't just talking, he was putting action behind it. By December 2024, Kai told everyone the school was supposed to be finished soon and that he planned to fly back to Nigeria to see it once everything was completed. But now, months later, people are starting to wonder what actually happened. It's almost been a full year since he made that promise, and the questions keep stacking up. Folks online are asking, what happened to the school? Is this whole thing a scam? Is it ever going to be built? The pressure started heating up again, heavy. Just a few weeks ago, another wave of criticism hit Kai after a clip posted on X by an account named KickChamp went viral. The tweet claimed a YouTuber went to check on the school Kai promised to build, only to find zero progress while the existing school was struggling to pay bills and was close to shutting down. That post spread fast, and people instantly jumped to conclusions. The clip actually came from a YouTube video made by a creator named Go with Ali, who visited Makoko, the same community where Kai said he'd fund the new school. But here's the twist that everybody ignored. The video had absolutely nothing to do with Kai. The YouTuber wasn't checking on Kai's project, wasn't exposing anything, and wasn't even mentioning him. But once the tweet framed it like a failed promise, the internet took off with it.
Built a school full of classrooms and stuff in Makoko, like over the river. But due to storm, a lot of it got messed up.
Kai got hit with accusations left and right. Some claimed he only made the promise for attention, others said he ran off and abandoned the whole project. But here's the part that actually matters. Kai did not ditch the school. The project is still moving forward, and he's reportedly already raised over $1 million toward it. The full construction is expected to cost around 2.4 million US dollars, which is about 3.9 billion Nigerian naira. So it's a huge project that takes time, planning, and serious funding. The narrative online might make it sound like he vanished on the community, but the facts show the work is still happening. Kai's also teaming up with major companies like Google and Amazon to bring this school to life, which shows this isn't some small-time project. Based on the timeline he shared, construction was supposed to take anywhere from 9 to 12 months depending on when everything officially kicked off. So honestly, the project could still be right on track. Kai even mentioned that delays already hit the build before, one of them being a heavy storm that slammed Makoko and destroyed a bunch of the building materials, which caused a major financial setback for the whole plan. What a lot of people don't seem to understand is that building something this serious takes way more than just dropping money on the table. And in a community like Makoko, where resources are limited, infrastructure is unpredictable, and systems move slower than in big cities, the process gets even more complicated. It's not like putting up a quick set or redesigning a room. It's a full school from the ground up. You gotta get official approval to build, make sure the land is safe, check for flood risks, create the school design, find reliable materials, hire workers, and make sure the whole thing meets government standards while still fitting what the local community actually needs. And even when you have all that lined up, you're still facing random issues. Bad storms, slow shipping, messed up deliveries, construction setbacks, and sometimes a whole maze of local bureaucracy. This isn't the kind of project you finish in a couple of months just because you're passionate and have the money. It's a long-term mission that requires patience and planning. Honestly, I think Kai might have jumped into the announcement a little too fast, not fully realizing how intense the process would be in a place like Makoko. And usually in situations like this, it's always smarter to underpromise and overdeliver instead of doing the opposite and having people think you're falling short. Personally, I really do believe this school is going to get finished. I don't see Kai just walking away from a promise like that, especially one he made on his own without anyone dragging him into it. His intentions seem real, and it feels like he truly wants to help the kids in Makoko, not just make a feel-good moment for the internet. This wasn't clout pressure or some challenge. He chose this mission himself, and that says a lot. Now let's get into Streamer University, another situation that had Kai all over the headlines. This one brought him a ton of heat, and I've formed my own take on it too. If you never heard about it, Streamer University was an idea Kai cooked up that turned into a mix of event, reality show, and full-blown content machine all at once. The basic idea was simple. Bring a huge squad of creators into one place, give them all the tech and space they need, and let the cameras catch every single moment. The wins, the drama, the comedy, and the chaos. And honestly, I think the whole thing turned out to be a solid success. A bunch of smaller creators finally got their shot, built real audiences, and have kept growing ever since. It opened doors for people in ways they probably couldn't have reached alone. And that part is dope. But of course, the criticism came rolling in too. Some people said Streamer University felt more like a reality TV show than an actual educational setup, which I get because it definitely had that high-energy, wild vibe. I wasn't there myself, so I can only speak from the outside, but I do know Kai brought in professors to add some real guidance and structure, even though they weren't actual professors in the traditional sense. It was more about bringing experienced creators who could drop game and help the newcomers level up. These professors were really just well-known streamers and creators dropping their own knowledge. One of them was Agent, another big-time streamer, who pulled up to run a finance and content class. And from what people said, it actually helped a lot of the attendees level up their game. It wasn't some fake setup. Real creators were giving real advice in their own lane.
So the watch time is 3.3 million. When you see that number, the first question you should ask is, how do I get that number up? To get people to watch longer videos, that's one strategy. Can you think of another strategy? Scum? Correct. Do more, higher frequency. Part of strategy is also uploading more. This is a clip channel.
Another thing people tried to drag Kai for was the claim that he didn't invite any smaller creators, that he only brought bigger names, and made the whole thing feel exclusive. But that take misses the whole point. The entire idea behind Streamer University was networking, collaboration, and putting new talent in the same space as established creators so they could catch some real shine. Kai basically built a huge stage, threw both big and up-and-coming streamers into the same environment, turned the cameras on, and let the energy flow naturally. And it worked. A ton of smaller creators got discovered, started building legit followings, and made names for themselves just by showing up and staying ready. The exposure was real, and it didn't cost them anything but effort. The way I see it, Kai didn't scam anybody. He offered a platform. What people did with that platform was on them. Nothing in life is guaranteed, and nobody is entitled to instant success. Sometimes, you just gotta take the shot you're given and flip it into something bigger. And for the folks who attended, Streamer University was a major chance to network, build visibility, and create lasting opportunities. Now let's get into the Wale situation, which stirred up a whole different kind of conversation. This one tied straight into hip-hop. It's a moment that made a lot of people side-eye Kai and question how plugged in he really is when it comes to rap culture. During the BET Awards a few months back, Kai was streaming live inside the building when he ran into rapper Wale, a respected and well-known artist from Washington, D.C. At that moment, Wale was walking toward Kai while playing Smash Bros on his Nintendo Switch, and that's where things took a turn. Kai walked up, said what's up, gave Wale a quick dap, and kept it pushing. On camera, it looked like a normal, harmless interaction. No tension, no weird energy, nothing. But once Kai got back in his car and started reading the chat, he saw people spamming Wale's name nonstop because of how respected Wale is in hip-hop. That's when Kai admitted on stream that he had no idea who Wale was. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised too. Wale is one of those artists you usually bump into at some point if you're tapped into hip-hop, especially if you're as online as Kai is. So yeah, hearing Kai say he didn't recognize him had a lot of people raising an eyebrow. But to be fair, there's a real factor behind that: Kai's age. When Wale first started blowing up heavy, Kai was around 11 or 12 years old. So from that angle, it kinda makes sense why Wale wouldn't be on his radar like that. Different eras hit different people, especially if you weren't outside for the music when it dropped. Still, Kai got hit with a wave of criticism. People were saying stuff like, how is he considered a voice in hip-hop if he doesn't even know Wale? Some folks acted like him not recognizing one rapper meant he was disconnected from the whole culture, which felt like a reach. But that's how the internet works. And then things got even more interesting. Later on, Wale actually approached Kai while he was sitting next to Snoop Dogg and said, "You don't know who I am?" Now, was Wale being that serious? Honestly, it didn't really sound like it. His tone felt playful, and he even dapped Kai up afterwards, so it didn't seem like he was genuinely pressing him or trying to start anything. It looked more like a quick joke mixed with a little surprise, not actual drama. A lot of people started flipping the conversation, pointing out how Wale didn't really know who Kai was either, right? But like always, the internet ran with it, and the whole situation sparked a way bigger debate about Kai's connection to the culture he's constantly around.
Wale, oh my God, that was somebody crazy. Hey, the whole chat knows him.
Wale.
Wale? What he do?
Rap.
Oh, word! To the kids of Makoko, I will be back. I will be back. And when I'm back, the school is going to be done.
People started questioning whether he's truly tapped in, or if he's more like an outsider who just happens to be surrounded by hip-hop but isn't fully rooted in it. And that convo got even louder after another moment that had social media heated. Kai made some comments about Black Americans that rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way, and the backlash was instant. The reason the reaction was so strong wasn't only because of what he said, it was because so much of his career, his audience, his energy, and the very culture that helped him rise is heavily tied to Black American culture. To a lot of people, hearing him speak like that felt disrespectful, almost like a slap in the face, and it became one of the biggest reasons why some people started turning on him. And then came the complex hip-hop media power ranking, which poured even more heat onto the situation. Just a few weeks ago, Complex dropped their 2025 list, highlighting the most influential figures in hip-hop media, and sitting at number 1 was Kai. That alone blew up online. People were instantly arguing, asking if Kai even counts as a hip-hop platform in the first place. The thing is, Kai isn't known for breaking down albums or doing deep commentary on music. That's not his lane. But his influence? It's undeniable. He's built a massive presence by constantly linking up with rappers, hosting wild streams with them, and creating viral moments that spread across the culture. His interview with Nicki Minaj went everywhere. His link up with Ice Spice during her rise became a whole era online. Over time, all these moments turned him into one of the most influential, and at the same time, one of the most criticized figures in the hip-hop space. Even if he doesn't claim to be a hip-hop analyst, his impact is big enough that everyone feels the need to debate it. Kai's gotten so big that major labels are literally fighting to get their artists onto his stream. And it makes total sense. Going on Kai's platform isn't like doing one of those stiff interviews rappers usually can't stand. His setup is chill, unfiltered, and actually fun to watch. So artists walk in relaxed and end up giving moments that feel real, not forced. But that influence is exactly why people have started questioning him, wondering if he's actually a real voice in hip-hop or just a streamer who happens to be standing close to the culture. And honestly, I think the whole conversation comes from folks putting Kai on a pedestal he never claimed in the first place. He naturally leans into hip-hop because it's the world he grew up in, the music his audience listens to, and the space his content organically floats around. Do I personally view Kai as a full-on hip-hop media platform? Not really. It depends how you look at it. But overall, I see him as a streamer who dips into hip-hop media, not someone whose entire brand is built on covering the culture. But whether I feel that way or not, a lot of people still question him, and one moment that made the criticism explode goes all the way back to 2023. Most people probably remember the Union Square riot. In August 2023, Kai announced a huge giveaway in Union Square, Manhattan, promising PS5s, gift cards, and more. What started as a hype fan meetup turned into pure chaos. Thousands of people pulled up, the crowd erupted, and things spun out of control fast. The NYPD had to flood the entire area as massive crowds stormed the streets and swarmed nearby stores. It turned from a fun link-up to a full-blown emergency in minutes, and that moment stuck to Kai's name ever since.
That shit making me look crazy right now. I'm just letting you know. What? That's making me look crazy. The exchange that we had in the hallway. It's like, my bad, bro. They running with it, but we'll talk later.
The whole situation blew up so big, it hit mainstream news, and Kai ended up getting arrested for inciting civil unrest. They hit him with charges like first-degree rioting, inciting a riot, and unlawful assembly. Eventually, all the charges were dropped, and Kai apologized while paying around $57,000 in restitution, but that moment still left a permanent stain on his image. People don't forget chaos on that level, especially when the entire city was watching it unfold. And to keep it real, the way he organized that Union Square event was rough. It was messy, unsafe, and honestly put a lot of people in danger. But I don't personally think he intentionally incited a riot. What happened was mostly on the crowd that showed up and let the energy get out of hand. Back then, I don't think Kai fully understood the scale of his influence or how fast things could spiral when thousands of people move off hype alone. And that was 2 years ago. His platform is way bigger now. But still, it's one of those moments that'll always be tied to his name. Even if he grows past it, the internet will always bring it up when talking about his mistakes. Fast forward to earlier this month, and Kai was thrown right back into the headlines again, but this time, the situation involved fellow content creator Duke Dennis. Both of them were in a mall in San Antonio, Texas, playing an after-hours hide-and-seek game for content. Yes, hide and seek. That's what sparked this whole mess. According to police, security guards told the group to leave the mall, but they didn't. When officers tried to arrest Duke Dennis for criminal trespassing, Duke broke into a full sprint like he was in the Olympics. That move led to charges of trespassing and evading arrest. Video clips from the scene showed officers taking Duke into custody, while Kai was spotted on an upper level, recording the whole situation for his stream. It was wild to watch in real time. One of those moments where something that was supposed to be goofy content suddenly flipped into a real-life arrest. And I'm guessing this whole hide-and-seek thing was part of some content they were trying to cook up. Because what else would they be doing running around a mall like that? And of course, the moment went viral instantly. As for those mugshots that started flying all over the internet, I'm almost positive the Kai one was AI generated. It did not look real at all. But even with all the drama, I genuinely think Kai is still on an upward path. It doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. The bigger picture is simple. This is the cost of being on top. When you're operating at the level Kai is, everything gets magnified. Every win looks massive, every mistake looks catastrophic, and every random moment becomes a headline. The spotlight never turns off. The real question is what Kai plans to do with that spotlight moving forward. If he keeps using his platform for something meaningful, something bigger than just jokes and viral clips, he could totally shift the narrative. Finishing that school in Makoko would be a major turning point, not for his image, but for the kids who would actually benefit from it. If that school gets built the way he promised, it could flip the story from controversy to inspiration. Only time is gonna tell how this all plays out, but one thing's for sure. Kai Cenat is gonna keep being Kai Cenat. The energy, the chaos, the wins, the slip-ups, that's part of who he is, and that's why people watch him in the first place. Anyway, if you made it this far, drop a like on this video. Thank you for subscribing to the breakdown of Kai Cenat and why everyone is turning on him. Any thoughts on all this? Hit the comments and let me know. But most importantly, I'll catch you in the next video.